Also brought to you by the Boatyard in Fort Lauderdale. Eat local, but stay coastal at the Boatyard Restaurant. The Boatyard is located at 1555 Southeast 17th Street in Fort Lauderdale. That means you can come by boat or you can come by car. Enjoy the nautical atmosphere whether you sit inside in the cold AC or outside on the patio bar. The Boatyard has something for everyone. Monday through Friday, happy hour, where local favorite is bar bites and handcrafted cocktails. Open for lunch, dinner, and the popular Sunday brunch. And don't forget, Ladies' Night, every Thursday night from 7 to 10 p.m. where ladies drink free. Dock and dine at the famous Boatyard in Fort Lauderdale. I am sure you'll have a great experience.
Clear the airways. The Lunker Dog is on the air.
Are you ready? This is the Real Guy Podcast.
Welcome to the Real Guy Podcast. This is Captain Jeff along with Steven Busaka. Steve, thanks for being in the Lunker Dog Studios tonight.
It's a pleasure to be here as always, my man.
So, dude, another big week with the bonefish, huh?
Oh, dude. Nice chunky one, too, right out of Biscayne Bay.
So what happened? You went out with Carl again and got your bonefish?
I went out with Carl again. I got my bonefish, and I was actually pretty fired up, though, because I got to sight cast it, but I actually got to sight cast it with a live shrimp this time. Because the last time I sight casted it was with a jig, which is cool, because that's hard. But I know that the traditional ways to actually, use a live shrimp, and we got it done. And I was actually pretty fired up, too, because it actually happened fairly quickly, which was cool to me because it actually makes me feel like I'm getting better at this now, you know?
You're really, trying to change the nickname from the Shepherd to Bonefish Busaka?
That's what I'm going for, man.
There's a bunch of Bahamians that do that.
Oh, yeah. If you
Bonefish Riley, Bonefish Willie.
Abby. Yeah, that's what I noticed. Every island in the Bahamas has a bonefish somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So what are you trying to be like?
Bonefish Busaka.
The millennial South Florida bonefish dude?
Basically.
Good luck with that.
I know, man. Hey, it's a start, right?
Hey, dude, you catch a few bonefish, it's pretty addicting.
It is.
So when you were out there on the flats, did you get invaded by any personal watercraft?
What do you mean?
We're under invasion right now.
What kind of invasion?
We are being invaded by people with personal watercraft.
What?
Dude, that's everybody knows that.
Hold on a sec. Well, when you say personal watercraft, what are you talking about?
Personal watercraft means watercraft that is basically, for the most part, solo.
You talking about like a wave runner type thing?
Well, it could be a kayak. It could be like a paddle boarder. It could be a jet skier. It could be wave runner type dude.
The kite surfers.
These fools in these jet boats. You know what I mean? And we are under invasion. I mean, no doubt about it.
You know what, dude? Now that you say that.
What, you got invaded when we were on the flats?
In a way. So when we were heading back, there was this one particular bonefish flat, and there was all these people, right in the middle of the bonefish flat, doing that kite surfing.
Uh-huh.
Right across the flat, where Carl catches bonefish.
Kite surfers. I never thought of them as personal watercraft.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, they're still moving. It's a single person
No, I even
vessel.
thought about them.
Yeah. You just reminded me, though, because I was like, they were on a bonefish flat that Carl fishes.
Well, I don't think all personal watercraft is bad.
Well, again, we're not saying that any of them are necessarily bad, but it's like,
no, I'm
it's
saying that a lot of them are bad, but I'm not saying they're all bad. Let me explain.
Explain.
All right, kayakers. That's definitely personal watercraft.
Yeah.
Personally, I have no big issues with kayakers. They're all over the place. They paddle around. They catch their fish. They're sightseeing, bird watching, whatever the hell they're doing out there on their personal watercraft. But I really don't have any problem with kayakers. Mm-hmm. I think we could handle a lot more of them. I don't think it would bother anybody too much.
No, they're quiet.
They're not going to bother you any more than your fellow fishermen.
Yeah.
Same with paddleboarders.
I love paddleboarding.
Yeah, that's personal watercraft, and I don't think there's anything, that they do that's detrimental.
Well, you, me, and Victoria still have to go paddleboarding in the canal. Remember that?
Yeah.
We'll do that one day.
Yeah, we'll go. She loves paddleboarding, so
yeah, we'll do that.
We started doing that over in the Bahamas years ago when she was just a kid, and she'd take any chance she can to do a little paddleboarding.
It's addicting.
It is. But the personal watercraft that I think is bad and is really hard to deal with,
jet skis.
Yeah, jet skis and wave runners are number one on the list on horrible personal watercraft. And when I mean horrible, it's like they all go to like horrible university, and they like all do the same shit that like totally drives you bonkers out there. For one, there's too many of them. We'll take it before we even get on the water. On your average boat ramp, okay, 10 years ago, you'd roll up to the boat ramp on a Saturday, and it'd be kind of busy and all that kind of thing. And let's say maybe 1 out of 10 trailers there were from jet skis or wave runners.
Okay.
All right, now you roll down to any boat ramp, Broward or Dade County, during the weekend, and I would have to say 50% of the spaces taken are from jet skiers and wave runners and personal watercraft like that. Also, the damn fools in most of the jet boats. Like you see Yamaha and Sea-Doo and they make these little jet boats that 2, 3, 4 people can get into. Every time I see one of those, it makes me want to puke because all I can think of is just bigger personal watercraft. But these people are taking up major spots at the boat ramp. Now, when I go fishing on the weekend, anytime between January and, say, May, and it's Saturday or Sunday, I know damn well that I can't expect to roll into the boat ramp at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and there to be a space for me and my trailer. So I tell those people we're either going to fish earlier in the morning or we're going to fish later in the evening because I know that I can't expect to get just parking.
That's just parking, dude. But how about when you get on the water, though, how bad they are?
The jet skiers,
they're like loose cannons out there, dude.
But how do the vast majority of them
all do the same stupid shit?
Right. Over and over and over again. It's like somebody is like coaching them up.
Yeah.
All right, this is what you do. There's going to be some fishermen over there by the bridge. Make sure you get within...
Go right next to them.
Right. Make sure you get within 15 feet of them. And don't slow down. And that stupid little wake that you throw off the back of your jet ski, yeah, if you turn into the wind, you can get those guys wet doing that with your jet ski. And they all do it.
And don't just do it once. Run by them a couple times, too. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
And donuts.
Yep.
Fishermen and people that are out there in the water enjoying themselves love it when you sit there and do donuts all around
or figure eights.
Yeah, everybody loves that shit, and they all do it. How is that possible?
I mean, I think it's just like
it's ignorance.
You know what it's sounding like to me? Personal watercraft guys.
They are.
You know what I mean?
They are. Well, there's 2 different personal watercraft guys. There's the guys with the jet engines and the guys that don't have jet engines. But the guys with the jet engines, Jesus, are they hard to deal with.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times when my dad and I would take the boat out, there was this freaking guy. I mean, he was just really recklessly driving in the canal with that wave runner. And my dad called out to him saying, like, hey, slow down. And what does this guy do? He stops for a second. He turns. Full blast, decides to try to get as close to the boat as he can to try to get us wet. He didn't get us wet, but it's like, dude, like, seriously?
Like he thought it was cool.
Like he thought it was funny.
Yeah. These guys are morons.
They're idiots. I mean, it's like...
And we are getting invaded. At this rate, okay, if personal watercraft keeps growing at this rate, within 5 years from now, we're going to have to buy our own spots at the boat ramps if we're going to even be able to deal. Because literally...
It's becoming more popular.
It's crazy more popular. And the growth rate is just... It's not sustainable. And unless we start making more boat ramps. How many new boat ramps have you seen go up lately? Right.
When was the last time they put up a new boat ramp?
That ain't happening.
In like 30 years.
We're probably going to see less boat ramps in the future because... boat ramps are on the water, and people want every piece of property on the water to develop on. So I do not see more boat ramps. I do see a bigger invasion of personal watercraft, and we got a serious issue on our hands. I don't know what the hell we're going to do about it.
I was about to say, so what do we do about this?
I'm not sure what we're going to do about it.
I know we could boycott.
You know the Nissan commercial?
Which one? I don't really watch TV.
All right, so the Nissan...
I'm a Toyota guy, you know?
Dude... It's the same commercial. It's just, Nissan, Toyota, whatever. But anyway, there's this dude, like flying around on a jet ski, like
First time he's ever been out on the water. And he's like, and it looks like he's in heaven. He's just rolling around on the jet ski. And as a fisherman, you're like, that's the guy. That's the guy that irritates the piss out of you when you're out there trying to fish. And Nissan's got it as a national ad, like that's what you're supposed to do on the weekends. Like that's the big dream thing, is to have one of these piece of shit jet skis to run around the bay with.
That's what you should be doing.
And that is what people think. And you're taking the people, the most ignorant, the people that have no clue about fish etiquette, people that have no clue about maritime law.
Or how about common courtesy?
Have no clue about common courtesy. And you're putting them on personal watercraft. And you're all going to the same spot, which would be the boat ramp. And you're trying to make these people mix. And that's what I mean. We are being invaded, dude.
We're becoming a minority, Jeff. Do you realize that? We're becoming a minority.
Well, yeah. Dude, we're white men. Not only are we like becoming a minority, we're becoming villains. Everybody hates us.
Jesus. No, I mean, it's fishermen, though. We're becoming a minority, dude.
Oh, yeah. Fishermen have been a minority for the longest time. And people have been fighting over fishing rules for the longest time. But this is the first time in the creation of the world that we've been invaded. Totally invaded by personal watercraft.
See, I feel bad for guys like you, though, like the tarpon fishermen in particular. I feel like suffer the most. Like, look at Carl in Biscayne Bay. He's fishing for those tarpon under the bridge. And guess who's also going underneath those bridges? The wave runners.
Dude, the wave runners are frigging everywhere. And they run around in packs.
Oh, there's never just one.
Right.
There's always like 3 or 4 of them.
And they're all together, and they take up just a ton of space.
And have you noticed that they're never next to each other? So, like, let's say they go by you. It's not like they all just kind of go by once. It's like that. Vroom,
dude, it's like a Harley gang.
It's like or it's like the NASCAR. You know, it's like vroom, vroom. They go by like, you know what I mean?
So Jim Hayes and I are fishing last year off Miami Beach, right? And the personal watercraft gangs are going by. And I was like, holy crap, Jim, look at all these dudes coming. So Jim started counting as they went by us as we're fishing out there in front of Miami Beach. He lost count at like 50-something.
Are you serious?
There was 50-plus personal watercraft.
Wait, was this weekend?
I don't know if it was a weekend. I'd imagine so. But, man, no, it's not a weekend because Jim Hayes don't book weekends.
So how scary is that during a weekday there's that many? Can you imagine how many there are probably over there on a weekend?
Well, and this is the other problem about personal watercraft is you can show up and rent a personal watercraft.
Yeah, which is convenient for people.
And the rental companies are at the boat ramps renting them. And they're using the boat ramps to do commerce down there.
Those guys are like public enemies number one.
When's the last time you've seen somebody rent a flats boat at a boat ramp?
I don't even know if they'd let them do it anymore.
I'm going to do flats boat rentals. Yeah, no. There's not enough jerk-offs to rent those too.
There's
plenty of jerk-offs to rent the personal watercraft to, and they were lined up to get on them. Now, do you think the people that are renting them the personal watercraft, are they coaching them up like how to be total morons?
Hell no. Oh, how to be morons?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, basically because it's not like, because again, they're not teaching them fishing etiquette. They're not teaching them common courtesy. They're just basically just saying, just go out there, have a good time, and don't fall off.
I think they're under scrutiny because of that. I think they actually have personal watercraft, not guys, but guides.
Guides and guys.
So, like, there's one dude that's, like, head of the pack, and he's the guy from the rental company. And he's supposed to, like, keep the other losers in control. Except...
He's not.
No, he's not. And they hired some dude that's one of them. They hire a moron to watch out for the morons, is what I'm saying.
So basically, it's like the blind leading the blind is what it is.
Right. And, you know, we're laughing about it now, but...
When you're on the water, it's frustrating.
There's only two things that really, like... Well, there's three things that totally friggin' irritate me on the water. Number one, first and foremost, are water taxis.
Yeah. That's not considered personal water.
It's not considered personal watercraft, but they are number one on the irritating scale here in Fort Lauderdale. And if you grew up here and you fished the waters of Fort Lauderdale,
you know.
Then you know and you understand. If you don't know and you don't understand, and it's okay. Maybe listen to like, some of our previous podcasts or some of our YouTube videos, or subscribe to the Water Taxi Problem on Facebook or whatever to get a gist of it. But that shit's happening. The water taxis are horrible and they're gross. Second on the list are jet skiers and wave runners. Horrible. The worst people that you could ever think of that you'd want to be on the water are on the water, and they're on there in force and they're invading us.
I feel like they're like as bad as like the water taxi captains. You know what I mean?
Well, the water taxi captain would be the guy that's going to retire from being a water taxi captain and open up a jet ski
company
at the boat ramp.
That was good.
Right? No, we're laughing about it now, but trust me when I tell you, in January on a Saturday fucking afternoon when I'm looking for a space at the boat ramp, and they don't say, okay, get in line. They just close the boat ramp, especially down there in Dade County. So you pull up there and it says no entry, and the boat ramp's closed. And then you look around and the whole parking lot is filled with jet skiers. And it makes you want to puke. And you got people staying on South Beach that are rolling over to Key Biscayne to go fishing out of Crandon. And then they show up and you're like, yeah, we have to wait here a couple hours so we can get a parking space.
Thank the Lord that they can't get out, that they can't get to the Bonefish Flats out there. Well, except for that one flat, but
dude, that's bullshit. The fucking the jet skiers get right on the flats.
Well, the good flats though, like I'm talking about further down south towards like Soldier
They're not
Key
as common. They're not as common as, say, in front of Miami Beach. But how long is that going to last? They didn't used to be off Miami Beach.
Let's not think about that.
I'm going to think about it, dude.
Oh, my God.
Because I'm the dude that feels like he's being invaded. I'm the dude that gets pissed off about it probably 5 out of 6 days a week. Summer, fall, winter, springtime, morning, afternoon, into the night, these losers are rolling around on their personal watercraft and driving people like Captain Jeff totally crazy. And no, there's nothing we can do about it.
No.
Except for have a podcast and explain to people that we are being invaded.
And rant. We can rant. We can kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Vent. We're venting about this. Yeah.
We're venting. And I hope the people that are listening to the podcast, maybe to help them vent, and maybe they'll feel some relief.
Or maybe some of these wave runners will actually listen to this and be like, well, maybe we could be a little bit nicer out there.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole lot of wave runners listening to the Real Guy podcast.
You never know, dude. I
do know a couple wave runners that are in the Real Guy network.
Any that I would know? DeFusco?
No, but that Catch 'em All fishing dude.
Oh, Zach?
Zach?
He's into that?
Yeah, I know he was on a wave runner the other day because when the worm was reeling in her tarpon, he went by in the wave runner, and I'm like, oh, Jesus, here we go. But it was actually that dude, and he gave us the room, and, he was just there as a spectator. He's like, oh, they're hooked up on a tarpon, so he came by to take a look. He wasn't actually being, crazy invasive or anything. But he's the only one I know.
All right, so one.
Right. So they're not 100%, but 99.9% of the people that are on a jet ski or a wave runner or one of those like Sea-Doo boats are total morons. And the other reason you can tell that, one of the main reasons that enables these morons to do this is financing. You can finance one of them stupid ass jet skis for like 15 years and pay like $22 a month for it.
Yeah, but how often are you going to take that thing out, though, dude?
Well, it depends how big of a moron you are. It seems like the bigger the moron you are, the more you're going to take it out.
Dude, I have such a bad habit of underestimating the stupidity of people. I really do. I give people too much credit, man.
Dude, that's a common flaw. I do the same thing. I think most people do the same thing. Is you want to have faith in people. You want to think that people aren't total morons. And I think in whole people aren't total morons. But I think the number of people that are on personal watercraft, the total is pretty much, it's definitely the majority. It's definitely 99%. And I mean, they're probably good people inside. Like I'm not saying like they're like like bad
Yeah, they're
dads
not
and
like-
moms,
yeah.
but they're just ignorant and they don't know any better and they don't really care. You know how long I've been with my wife?
High school.
Right, since high school. I've been with my wife over
30 years.
30 years, closer to like 35 years.
Wow.
Right. In 35 years, I asked her not to do something maybe 3 times. And she was going on a vacation down to the Keys. And she mentioned about getting on a jet ski or a wave runner. And I told her, I said, honey, I said, I usually don't really care what the hell you do. You want to go out drinking. You want to go play with the dolphins. You want to go to Key West. You want to do whatever you want to do. Rarely do I ever ask her or tell her there's something that I would not like her to do. And she talked about getting on the personal watercraft. She talked about jet skiing. She thought it was going to be fun. And I said, listen, those are probably the most dangerous things on the water. Do me a favor. Don't do jet skis. Or don't do wave runners, where the hell they were on. And she did.
She still did it.
She did it. And you know what happened?
She got hurt.
She broke her leg.
Are you serious?
Yeah. That's not coincidence. That's not by accident.
How'd she break her leg?
Somebody on the, I think there was somebody on the wave runner with her, and when they wrecked and they both fell in the water,
She hit that water like concrete, man.
she hit the water and the guy fell on top of her and broke her leg.
Damn.
We didn't talk for like a month.
Really?
I was pissed.
How long ago was this?
This is like,
Like, is this recent or was this like
no,
a
this is
while
about
ago?
8 or 9 years ago.
All right, so a while ago.
But I specifically explained to her and tried to educate her about how the poor choice going out on a wave runner would be. And she's a smart lady. She's no dummy,
No.
but she was ignorant. She did not know. You don't know what you don't know. She got on that damn jet ski and she broke her leg.
I can't get over
And
that.
she knew how pissed I was going to be. So she went to the hospital in the Keys to get her leg taken care of and never called me or anything. I didn't find out till like 3 days later.
Well, yeah, 'cause she came home with the cast.
Yeah, she came home with the broke up leg. Yeah. Yeah.
For a month, you didn't talk?
Dude, I was friggin' pretty pissed. And to watch your wife hobble around with one good leg and one bad leg because she was on a jet ski, do you think that might just strike a chord with somebody like me?
A couple chords.
Yeah. That's like the worst thing she could have ever did to hurt herself. Where I could not look over it. I couldn't be like, oh, it's okay, honey. You were just on one of those jet skis acting like an idiot like everybody else I got to deal with the other 365 days a year. And it just was something that I couldn't swallow. So I didn't talk to her for like a month.
Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway, dude, we're getting invaded by personal watercraft.
See, now you got me scared about the bonefish flats now.
Because you know it's coming. It's already on there.
Well, I told you that one flat, there was people out there.
It's already on there. People are getting screwed while they're pulling up and down the flats by jet skiers and wave runners. As a matter of fact, we haven't asked people to email in a while. If you've been on the flats or you've been somewhere where you got totally freaking pissed off because of the ignorance of people on personal watercraft,
Let us know.
let us know. Email me, jeff@lunkerdog.com. And you can't say that I'm not striking a chord here because I know this happens.
Dude, this is what we do on this show is strike a chord.
The
If
other
we're
thing-
not striking a chord.
The other thing that I always forget about on the podcast is I want you to rate the podcast if you're on, what is it, Apple?
yeah, it gives you an option.
Yeah, and if you rate the podcast, and damn it, give me a 5-star rating because I'm doing this shit over here on the weekends and my spare time and everything. And just do the 5-star rating thing. Give us a good rating on iTunes because it makes a big difference on how many people actually see and hear and about the podcast. And we're going to wrap this one up quick. But if you don't think that you're being invaded by personal watercraft, I'd like to know that too. And if you do think you're being invaded by personal watercraft,
Let us know that too.
yeah, let us know. Give us an email.
Yeah.
And if you give me an email and you want a Lunker Dog sticker, make sure you put your address in the email. We'll send you out a free sticker. And I think we're gonna do a contest. I'm gonna get with Busaka. We're going to make up a contest.
We haven't done a contest in a while.
Right, we haven't. Remember we used to do all those giveaways and all
Yeah,
that
for
stuff.
Triple
I want to
Live.
start doing that again. I want to aggressively start marketing to more people that find this podcast appealing, and I think we'll do that through some giveaways. But thanks for tuning into the Real Guy Podcast. That's Stephen Busaka, the Shepherd, and Captain Jeff, the Lunker Dog. And watch your back. And don't let anybody tell you you're not getting invaded by personal watercraft.